to Coffee, Tea, and Art in the new year. It's 2017. I'm stoked. It's a brand new year. I have awesome new headphones, and this is all things creative and caffeinated. This is Chris. I am Tori.
Hi.
You said hi right there on my thing.
Say it again.
This is Chris. I am Tori. And we are here to talk about a lot of really fun stuff. We have gotten a special shout out to Glenda, I had to write it down, Hoagland, and Ambie Kraftsreads.
I would say it's Glenda, Hoagland, and Ambie Kraftsreads.
I think you're right.
It's
So they left comments on the last episode, and they had an idea for a art on a budget episode. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But let's get to our drinks first because they're cold and they're awesome. Actually, I'm going to take these off. These are a present from Chris, and I love them. They flash, they change color. They're awesome, but I can't hear myself.
Sound comes out of the speakers.
Yeah, these are speakers. That was probably really quiet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take them off. Okay.
So, do you want to tell us about the drink?
The drink is, I lost my place. It's a hazelnut mocha shake from this book, 365 Vegan Smoothies.
Oh my gosh.
It's basically hazelnuts, some coffee, some cocoa, and a frozen banana or two. It's a little pick-me-up for the late afternoon.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I was hoping it would be.
You can really taste the hazelnut.
So yeah, shot of espresso, hazelnuts, frozen banana, yummy.
Yeah, and that book, which we make a lot of smoothies out of, has broken up into sections, kind of like weight loss and revitalizing energy. I think this is in the energy section.
Yeah.
I put the recipe down below. You should definitely give that a try. And it's perfect for the new year.
Now I'm chewing on a piece of hazelnut.
Thanks for sharing that. This is perfect for the new year because I know I have, yet again, a workout goal for 2017. And smoothies are great, especially an energizing one right after a workout. That would be fantastic. Now, if I could just make it to the gym.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we also have the art supplies on a budget. So, what I did is I put together a whole list of art supplies, and I tried to keep it around $20, but actually still make it a viable kind of little kit. So, I put all of the links below in the show notes, but I also have a blog post because it was just a lot of detail. It was way too much to put in the show notes.
Right.
So, I kind of did a little write-up about each one, so check that out as well. But I'm going to go through them quickly here.
And maybe before you go through them quickly,
Yes.
like just broad stroke, what you would need to put together is sort of a budget art kit, because you have to do certain things to make art.
Okay. So I would say it depends on what kind of art you're making. I put together a kit that's kind of based on mixed media, which is one of the art types I love to do. Definitely if you're looking to do watercolor or oil painting, it would be a totally different kit. So I think that's a good disclaimer. This is kind of a art journaling mixed media kit.
Basically, you need something to make lines and shapes with, something to put color down with, and a strata to hold it all. Outside of that, isn't anything else just kind of extra?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, really, you could do art with just a pen.
Which is kind of what I do.
Right, which is in the kit as well.
I now return it to her.
So, I do have some wet medium, some dry medium, and some substrate, which is the paper. So I'm going to go through it. I think every art kit, I guess especially if you're doing mixed media, it needs some gesso. So I put Liquitex gesso in here. This comes in 4 ounces. It's really inexpensive, and it's actually artist grade gesso, which is awesome. The thing about gesso that I love is you can use it to replace white paint. You can use it as a ground, so to seal up any paper you're using. So if you're using brown paper bags or newsprint, gesso will give you a surface to work on, which will be awesome. So I always use gesso.
She does.
Constantly. Okay, so to go with the gesso, I have picked 3 primary colors of Blick. You want to hold those up?
Sure.
Blick matte acrylic paint. So these are 2-ounce bottles, which is plenty. I've been using these 2-ounce bottles all year, and I'm nowhere near being done with them. The cool thing about having primaries is, I'm sure most of you know, you can mix your own colors. So I did a little sample here. So I mixed up the primaries here, and you can see a variation of color. So that's really all you need is just these primaries and some white and some black if you really want to mix darker tints and shades. But the white will do a lot with just these 3 colors. And then you can make a whole rainbow. So that's awesome. The interesting thing about the Blick acrylics is they're matte, which I love. I don't like super shiny. And they have different tones of these red and yellow and blue. So you can kind of pick the tones if you want brighter, more pastel tones or darker. You can kind of choose. And they're like $2 a bottle, so it's awesome. If you have paint, you also need brushes. So I go with just student grade brushes almost all the time. The only time I splurge for brushes is when I'm doing watercolor. But any kind of mixed media where I'm getting gesso and paint and glue and like all that stuff all mixed together, I use student grade brushes. And I put a variety pack on there. They're not that expensive, and that way you have enough brushes to do kind of spreading color, detail work, blending, all of that.
So what's the difference between student grade and artist grade?
The quality of the bristles. So these are synthetic bristles, which I actually think hold up really well to paint.
They're soft.
And faces. Actually, I was reading a blog post earlier today where somebody used their makeup brushes they got for Christmas as paint brushes. So they don't do a lot of makeup, but they use them as paint, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I also have, my very favorite glue stick, Pioneer. It's extra strength, archival. I talk about it all the time. Love that. Gotta have that in the kit. And I think that's like $2 too, so not too bad. Faber-Castell. So when you get into artist grade pens, markers, etc., they can start getting pricey. This one pen is a brush tip. It's $2. It has India ink in it. It won't bleed. It's waterproof. This is my very, very favorite pen, and I think it's worth the $2 because of the India ink. So you can make good marks and lines, paint over them. It won't bleed everywhere. Awesome. To go with that, we just have a standard Bic.
Bic.
It's a Bic.
Bic Cristal.
You have the packaging.
You can get 10 of these for $2.30, which makes that a 23-cent pen.
Actually, I looked up the price. They're 37 cents a piece.
Ew, well, I got these on sale.
Okay. The cool thing about this is I tested it out with gesso. You can draw, sketch, do line work, do marks, and then paint with gesso over it, and it won't bleed or smear. So awesome. And you can use it for sketching. So if you're just out and about with your book.
There are a lot of artists out there who use just like a cheap Bic pen to do their work. That's all you need.
That's awesome. And you're going to share one of those in a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get to that in just a second. The other thing I put on the list is really kind of free to you probably. Any kind of junk journal pages or substrate that you can collect around your house. So postcards, coasters I pick up at restaurants, old book pages. I just kind of got a smattering here. Postcards that if you go to like art openings or events, a lot of the time they print postcards that they hand out or have stacks of them. I usually grab a few and bring them home to use, and I make junk journals with them. So that's great. I also sell a pack of pre-made, like a whole set of them, which I put the link below on my Etsy shop. So if you want to get a pre-made set ready to go of junk journal pages, you totally can.
You also cut pieces out and glue in your journals?
I do, yeah. So you can paint on these, you can tear them up and glue them. There's endless supply of paper that comes to the house.
Yes.
That you can reuse. Plus, grocery bags. You know, if you forget your reusable bags sometimes we do that and we get paper, you can use those as well. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the whole kit. I did put a bonus item on there. So that whole kit is about $21. So I looked up all the prices, I put all the links, you can see that. I think that's totally reasonable to like get a whole like wet medium, dry medium, paper, glue stick, all that stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The bonus item is a little pricier, but I always think it's good to have a sketchbook that has multiple uses laying around. So this is a Strathmore art journaling kit. So the cool thing about this is you get nice weight mixed media grade paper. So this is artist grade paper in the back. You also get some really cool handmade paper sheets in the front. So that way you have some like specialty papers to work with. I think this is about $11 or $12. I also put the link down there. And there's also a pocket in there. So if you're looking for extra pages to like throw in your junk journal or use as a sketchbook or something that comes along with handmade papers and other artist papers, because there's some just colored sheets you just got to one. These are just colored sheets, a few of those. This is a great little book, and it's a good size to throw in a purse or a bag or backpack or whatever.
6.5 by 8 inches.
Thank you.
36 sheets.
Yes, and it can get you going and out the door and making some art.
Nice.
So there's the kit. So now you're going to talk about the books. And I'm going to drink this.
Okay. Being a new year, we thought it would be a good thing to introduce some books by a guy named Danny Gregory. Some of you might have heard of him. He does a lot of books on how to be creative, how to be creatively forgiving of yourself, how to just enjoy creativity. This one's called Art Before Breakfast. And it's just a great book that talks through various...
This is perfect for coffee, tea, and art.
It is.
Look at Art Before Breakfast. So like while you're having your coffee or coffee smoothie.
Yeah.
Okay, back to you.
So he does a nice setup and just gets you through the basics of line, shape, color. Pick a thing to draw. Draw your cup. Draw your chair. Just easy stuff that will kind of progress you along to more and more complex things. Not that complexity is the goal. The goal is just to express yourself on a regular basis with sort of a free mind, you know, not to be worrying about everything else you have to do. Just draw for a while. So he's got a whole series of books. Look him up, Danny Gregory. He's got a very interesting backstory too. So he has a website. I think his backstory's on his website.
Before you get to that, the cool thing about a lot of what he does is really just about creating and creating every day. So Chris and I did
a foot. He made a foot.
Thank you for sharing the foot.
Easy though. You could do that.
You could do that. Chris and I did a challenge every day in 2016. We just completed it. And really creating every day helps not only you feel more confident in your art, but also it gets ideas. You know, the more you create, the more ideas you have, and the more you create.
Right.
It's a cycle.
Yeah. It opens up ideas in other areas of your life even. Another book that he put together as an editor, he's got several books like this. This one's called An Illustrated Life, where he's gone and he's talked to different artists about why they keep sketchbooks, what motivates them to sketch and draw. And what's interesting is a lot of these artists are professional illustrators, painters, but their sketchbooks to them are a different thing. It's not about the commercial them, it's about the expressive them. So for a lot of them, you look at their sketchbooks and you're like, I didn't know they did work like that. Art Crum's in here.
I bookmarked the one that uses a pen.
So this guy, let me pull the bookmark out. His name is Peter Cusack. He works with fairly inexpensive materials. If you get this book, you can read about it. Basically just a sketch pad similar to what you have there. And he likes to use a cheap Bic style pen. And all of his stuff is very interesting to look at, very interesting shading, all from a simple pen. And the book has all kinds of different artists in it and styles in it. So An Illustrated Life, edited by Danny Gregory.
Double Danny Gregory. We're doubling down on Danny.
Seriously, he is very prolific. There are a lot of books out there where he's done this kind of thing. There's a travel book, some stuff.
I like the travel book. And I think I just ordered another one of his, the Everyday Matters.
Everyday Matters, I believe, was his first book, and that tells his backstory and how he was inspired to, I believe, move out of the ad world, where he was very successful, into his more artistic pursuits. So.
Awesome. So, do you have anything else you want to share?
I don't think so.
What was your favorite gift this holiday?
My favorite gift this holiday? Silence. Silence and time to breathe.
That was good. Yeah. I think because we had a good amount of time off, I got in the studio and I just made tons of art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. Well, hopefully you had a good holiday and a very happy new year. Stay after and I will be doing a drawing of this amazing coffee smoothie milkshake thing in my Denic sketchbook. So awesome. And yeah, I think that's it. Check out all the links below. Let us know if you have any ideas for shows or drinks or tea or coffee or anything. And we will try and highlight it in an upcoming episode. And let us know what you think about our new background. We kind of moved, since it was a new year, into a different part of our house. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks.
Subscribe. Bye.
Bye.